Okay, you may have already looked at the tab and thought, oh god. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, I feel, in terms of what this etude is. It's not the most musical or musically pleasing thing, but it's just a way of really just kind of ramping up the difficulty and having the endurance of playing that first, third, fourth finger combination. As far as using a metronome for this, I'm going to say just like go with whatever pace feels natural and just try and make it through the whole thing. So don't even need to use a metronome. I have bars where you have a rest symbol there just to indicate, give yourself a few beats. Give yourself a few beats so this way you kind of mentally prepare for the next thing. So the way this is structured, let me, I'm going to change a setting here. Okay. So this, every time you change strings, you wait a quarter note. And then we just increase the number of strings. Then the next section, you go 2 strings and then a quarter note. Technically, so you got 2 strings where you are doing continuous hammer-ons, and then you go to another string, quarter note. So 1 string of continuous notes, then the quarter note. 2 strings of continuous notes, then the quarter note. So yes, the next step, 3 strings of continuous notes, then the quarter notes. And then after that, we're just going for it. You're going up. And it is a little bit kind of weird doing the 3 continuous strings and then a quarter note. So just to follow that pattern of doing 3 strings, we go down, up, and then back here. So that part's a little bit weird, but it felt like a fairly natural way of ending that phrase. Or that group of, that chunk of the etude. Let's just call it that. All right, so after that, we just shoot up. So climb 6 strings, but once you get to that 6th string, technically the first, you quarter note there, and then you head the other way. And then the final thing, just non-stop, all the way up and down. So, again, just go at your pace. What your hand and all your arm allow you to do, focusing on hearing everything. If you don't hear clear cut every note, something's off and we need to fix that. So it's definitely going to test your endurance, but hopefully doing something like this, maybe a few times a day will be beneficial in getting the whole first, third, fourth thing down. Of course, going back to your standard metronome stuff, like I mentioned in the recap last time about just drilling that part and then eventually tying it into the whole, or whatever it was. Anyway, so this is basically what we got. I'm not going to go crazy fast, so it's a bit easier to understand, and hopefully I can remember what it is. So here we go. I already started off wrong. Wow, middle finger? What am I doing? I'm getting in my own way. Start that part again. Yeah, that's right. So, as you see, as you saw, mistakes happened, but with this thing, just kind of pick up from where you were. Like, try that section again if you make a mistake instead of starting all the way over. So, yeah, and other things you can do is, do something in key, which would be a bit more difficult because of the hand shifting that needs to go on. I did think about doing it that way, but, so what do I mean by that? Like, you could do like a similar thing here, but let's just pick the key of A minor, for example. So A, B, C, F. But then you're always staying in that A, B, C, D, E, F, A, B, C, D, E, F, A, B, C, D, E, F. So, like writing through the whole thing again, if you want to do it this way, it will be more challenging, but you can. See, I already goofed it. Damn it. See, my arms are getting pooped. Come on, damn it. So, yeah, there's an option there. Bit more musical, I suppose, because it stays in a scale, stays in key. Whereas what's on screen is just a chromatic thing for them, pretty much, because you're not staying in a specific key, just straight up down there. Which can sound kind of neat, do it fast enough. It's like in a guitar magazine, they call that the Eddie Van Halen scale. Basically, he just has like a pattern, like this, maybe something like that, and then he just goes up and down whatever strings, and not really a scale, but it's a pattern, but they called it the Van Halen scale. Anyway, so yeah, if any questions come up, let me know. Plan on seeing you again next week. And I know you mentioned taking a break in June because travel and whatnot. So I'll go ahead and, we'll plan on that, not doing something in June. And then reconnect near the end of June. I'm actually going to be out the last week of June. But you can still, just still send me like an email. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it next week. What the heck? We got time. Okay. Any questions come up, let me know. I will see you next week.